Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the wild world of natural wonders and disasters, from hidden volcanoes under Antarctic ice to ancient lost continents and even bizarre survival tactics.
Wow, that sounds like a roller coaster ride of phenomena. So, what strikes you first about, say, those giant volcanoes hidden under the Antarctic ice?
Well, it's amazing. The largest volcanic region on Earth isn't in Africa or Japan, but tucked under the Antarctic ice.
Yep.
Scientists have identified like 138 volcanoes on the western side, and if even one erupts, it could melt huge amounts of ice, flooding oceans and, making Earth uninhabitable.
Whoa, so even a single eruption could trigger catastrophic sea level rises.
Exactly. It's like, imagine a small spark that causes a chain reaction to melt millions of cubic kilometers of ice, and that water sloshes into the ocean, raising sea levels dramatically. Though scientists note that only 2 of these Antarctic volcanoes are officially active, and it might take decades of repeated eruptions to have a serious impact.
That's such a mix of long-term slow effects and then a potential sudden disaster if something super huge goes off.
Right, and speaking of super events, there's also talk about supervolcanoes, like Yellowstone or Tambora. These don't just create local chaos, they could actually alter global climate. Imagine a volcanic eruption so massive that it blocks out sunlight and triggers a volcanic winter.
Yeah, I've read that like when Tambora exploded in 1815, it led to the year without a summer in Europe and North America.
Exactly. And then there are even more ancient events. Think about a super eruption at something like Camp millions of years ago that helped shape life, even influencing the size of dinosaurs. Our planet has seen cycles
crazy.
of extreme volcanic activity that reshaped continents and, in some ways, forced evolution.
Speaking of continents, weren't there intriguing findings about lost continents and shifting land masses?
Yes, indeed. The discussion goes deep into how continents like Sahul and even submerged ancient landmasses such as Argoland demonstrate that Earth's surface is dynamic. These places were once unified. Think of Pangaea, a massive sea-shaped supercontinent, and then they split apart. The shifting not only redistributes water, but can, in dramatic cases, lead to runaway melting of ice sheets.
Fascinating. But I wonder, aren't these geological changes spread over millions of years? It almost feels like a slow-motion disaster.
True, most of these processes occur over geological timescales. However, some events, like a super eruption or a sudden change due to tectonics, could trigger faster effects. It's like a calm stream suddenly turning into a raging river.
I see what you mean. There's the gradual saga, and then moments when nature literally flips the script.
Exactly. And then we get to other wild phenomena, like the dingo fence in Australia, which is less about volcanic activity and more about, human attempts to control nature. It was built to keep dingoes away from livestock, but inadvertently, it affected the ecosystem. Less dingoes meant more kangaroos, and then competition with sheep.
Yep, that's a classic example of unintended consequences. Right, it's one of those cases where managing one animal leads to cascading effects on the whole system.
Absolutely. And switching gears a bit, have you ever thought about how our sun's true color might affect our perception? I know it sounds surreal, but scientists mention that the sun inherently emits a full spectrum that appears white in space, yet from Earth, our atmosphere makes it look yellow. This ties into understanding how light, atmosphere, and even our stars work together in ways that are, mind-blowing.
It's wild to think that if our sun were like red or blue, our whole world's appearance would change.
Right, and that highlights how interconnected our planet is with the cosmos. Speaking of connections, another fascinating thread is our ability to forecast future supercontinents through tectonic models. Some researchers even predict that in hundreds of millions of years, continents might converge into a new supercontinent.
That scenario is almost sci-fi in its scale, isn't it?
It sure is. And when you add in dynamic phenomena like massive volcanic eruptions or mega earthquakes, it reminds us that Earth is in constant motion.
Yes, and these events, from supervolcano eruptions to tectonic shifts, might sound like something straight out of an apocalyptic movie, but there are planet's natural rhythms.
Exactly. That said, I do want to challenge one point you hinted at earlier. You mentioned that since these changes are slow, they might not be as menacing. But even if they're gradual on a human timescale, the eventual impacts, like sea level rise or climate change, could be incredibly disruptive if they accelerate unexpectedly.
I agree. It's a reminder not to underestimate slow drifts when they eventually catch up.
Precisely. And while super eruptions might be extremely rare, their probability isn't zero. On average, such events might occur once every 100,000 years or so, but the irregularity means caution is warranted.
And while we're on the topic of caution, the input material also touched on survival strategies, like building shelters, filtering water, even making makeshift fire starters.
Oh yes, it almost reads like a survival manual for post-apocalyptic Earth. There were, instructions for creating makeshift water filters from plastic bottles and even using dental floss as fire starters. It's almost humorous in its ingenuity, yet underlines the stark reality of nature's potential fury.
Right, one moment you're discussing multi-billion-year geologic changes, and the next, you're learning how to boil water with a plastic bottle and some duct tape. Yep.
And that's what makes this whole narrative so compelling. We're looking at our planet's grand, almost cinematic disasters, from volcanic super eruptions that could, block out the sun, to subtle changes like decreased oxygen production from a cooled sun, and then we zoom into the practical side of survival in such scenarios.
It's almost like a crash course in Earth's history, future, and how we might cope if the worst were to happen.
Exactly. And there's also that intriguing bit about lost civilizations in the Amazon, ancient sites that suggest densely populated regions long before European contact. It reminds us that even our ancestors had to navigate these wild, ever-changing landscapes.
That's incredibly humbling. These discoveries show how adaptable humans have always been, even in the face of monstrous natural events.
Yes, and it underscores the importance of preserving our natural history while learning from it. Whether it's ancient volcanic events, tectonic puzzles, or the ingenious ways early humans survived, there's so much we can learn.
And it definitely gives one an appreciation for the artistry and terror of nature. I mean, from supervolcanoes deep beneath ice sheets to even bizarre phenomena like blue flames from high sulfur content volcanoes, it's a tapestry of wonder and danger.
Absolutely. It reminds us of our smallness in the grand scheme, yet our capacity to adapt and innovate. Whether it's using natural resources to keep warm amid volcanic winters or leveraging advanced astronomical models to predict the fate of our continents, our story is intertwined with these awe-inspiring natural processes.
It's a potent mix of beauty, chaos, and survival, one that really challenges our scientific, cultural, and even philosophical perspectives.
Indeed. And as we wrap up, let's remember that while scenarios like supervolcano eruptions or dramatic tectonic shifts seem like apocalyptic nightmares, they are also natural chapters in Earth's long dynamic existence, and our understanding, even if filled with uncertainties, empowers us to dream about solutions, whether that means building better safety nets or simply, appreciating the raw spectacle of our planet.
Well put. It's like we're both celebrating the wonder of nature and bracing ourselves for its fury, all while acknowledging how resilient life can be.
Exactly. From the hidden volcanoes of Antarctica to lost continents and ingenious survival tips, our planet never ceases to astonish and challenge us. Let's stay curious, stay informed, and, keep exploring with both wonder and caution.
Absolutely. Thanks for this incredible journey through Earth's natural marvels and mysteries. It's been a wild ride, filled with awe, a bit of humor, and plenty of did you know moments.
Thanks for joining in. Remember, every natural disaster and mystery is a reminder of the power of our planet, and maybe, just maybe, a call for us to respect and protect it. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and your feet on the ground.
Yep, stay safe and curious, everyone.